Is there any time that you have in mind to complete this, or
If inshallah we
okay,
can finish by 6:10, 6:15, inshallah.
inshallah, inshallah.
Now is 5:41.
Yes, inshallah. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you.
So the first question that we have here um, is the conscious part of fitra?
I think this question is for the night lecture.
Yes, it seems like it says question from the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, so inshallah, in the lecture, I will try to explain.
Inshallah. Okay, Sheikh. Thank you very much. So this now question is questions from your mid Shaban section.
Yes.
In follow up to your point about acting in ways that are in service to Imam
Yes.
and are pleasing to him,
Yes.
what are the indicators that one can look out for and use, which hint that he or she is truly doing work that Imam Mahdi Ajral would be pleased with?
Yeah, very good question. And actually, when I was talking about that, I was very much hoping that people would listen carefully to that part. And I mentioned some things that can help, but I can never be 100% sure and clear for most part. Maybe sometimes, because no one can say that I perfectly understand the will of Imam alayhi salam. What we need open mind. Openness of mind is very important, because if the mind is not open, you miss the signals, because you are already programmed and you think in the way that you are programmed. You are not able to understand anything new, anything different, anything outside the box. So a follower of Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif needs to be open-minded, needs to be free thinker, at the same time that he or she is very obedient, very committed. Number two, it needs a soft, kind, and caring heart, because the Hujjah of Allah is the most caring person in the whole world. Imam of people loves people more than father of people or mother or brother of people. So you have to resemble Imam alayhi salam with your love and care and concern for people. Number three, I mentioned that there must be a balanced approach. Sometimes we do good things, but we don't get the priorities right. And when there is something more important, I do something which is important but less important. Or I exaggerate. I go to extreme, either by doing too much or too little. So balance is also very important. Now, if you have open mind and a loving and caring and selfless heart and balance, then you will get lots of messages and signals from Quran, from Hadith, from ulama, from books, from mu'mineen, even from seeing what bad people are doing and saying. You get signal directly or indirectly to understand what's the best thing you can do for Imam alayhi salam, which is the best thing that you can do for humanity, which is the best thing you can do for our community, which is actually the best thing you can do also for yourself.
Sheikh, we are not able to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now again, yes.
How much you missed?
Just a couple of seconds only, I think.
Okay, yeah. So, if we are well tuned, our mind and heart, we can then understand many, many things. But all within the spirit of humility, not that say I am very intelligent, I am very genius, I understand things directly from Imam. No, you are always struggling to understand. You can be the most understanding person, but at the same time, you are the one who, more than anyone else, is relying on the assistance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the prayers. And you know that uh, if you are left to yourself for a second, you will make funny mistakes, terrible mistakes. Never trust yourself, but never also be hopeless about yourself. Allah used the stick of Musa to do miracles. Inshallah, we can be better than the stick of Musa if we listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we try to be at His service and the service of His wali, inshallah.
Sure. Thank you very much, Sheikh.
You are welcome.
Along the same lines, the same topic again, your Shaban lectures. The question is, you mentioned that he is the most prayed for Imam alayhi salam or
Yeah.
Nabi. What about the phenomenon of Arba'in and Ashura? The concept of Imam Hussein alayhi salam seems to be on larger scale than Imam Mahdi ajallah. Can you please clarify that?
Yes, sure. First of all, when it comes to Imam himself, no Imam has lived that long so that he could pray like Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. For example, how many Hajj they were able to attend compared to Imam Mahdi? How many months of Ramadan they have witnessed? How many Laylatul Qadr they have witnessed? How much, for example, even Imam Hussein himself, how much he visited Karbala, let alone visiting the next Imams, So, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, because he comes last and also he lives the longest, so the opportunities that he has for praying is more. Number two, no Imam, I think, has been prayed for like Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. How much people have prayed for Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Yes, we go for ziyarah, but how much we have prayed for him? How much we have prayed for Imam Sadiq? How much we have prayed for Amir al-Mu'minin? It seems that they have been living here, they have been killed and martyred. If we pray for them, we just say, for example, oh Allah send salutations to them, and things like this. But Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, even generations before he was born, Imams were praying for him and taught the Shia to pray for him, and some of the best du'as that we have for Imam Mahdi actually are taught by previous Imams. So I think neither any Imam has prayed more than Imam Zaman, nor for any Imam prayer has been made more than Imam Zaman. And this still continues. And of course, we have to do more. Imam is alive, Imam is active, Imam has cruel enemies, Imam has a big task, Imam has lots of people under his care. So, for all these reasons, we need to make lots of dua for him. And if you pray for him, also you pray for anyone who is under his care and you pray for his mission. Even when you pray for the cause of Imam Hussein to be successful, for example, the cause of the Prophet to be successful, or Imam Ali alayhi salam, all of them again are prayer for Imam Mahdi, because the success of their cause only can be complete with the leadership and the huzur, the appearance of Imam Mahdi Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif.
Thank you very much, Sheikh.
You are welcome.
There are a few other questions also regarding the Shaban series of yours, but
Yes.
I will go ahead with a question on 40 Hadith, if I may.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, dear Sheikh.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can you further explain what it means that heaven is full of life? Do we have understanding from the Quran and our Hadith on how life would manifest in heaven? Also, is that life dynamic or static?
What do we mean by dynamic or static?
Dynamic would be a constantly a state of moving.
I know.
You
No,
think
I mean in this case,
in this case,
dynamic life
don't
and
know
a static life. In any case, the Quran says, "Inna dar al-akhirah lahiya al-hayawan." It's not only about heaven. The whole hereafter is full of life. Lahiya al-hayawan. It's life. It's vital. But in the hell, as I said, the quality of life is very low, because people are not able to defend themselves, and people are not able to enjoy many things that are adding to the quality of life. They don't have that level of love and ma'rifah and purity and piety that they can enjoy higher degrees of life. But they are alive and they are not dying. Even if they want to die, they are not going to die. La yamutu fiha wa la yahya. They are not dying and they are not living in the full sense, but they are alive. But when you go to heaven, is high quality of life. You cannot compare the time in heaven even to the best times you have had in dunya. Imagine if you are very healthy, very happy, in a very beautiful gathering, in a beautiful setting, beautiful food. Everything is nice and beautiful. Your experience of life is different. You have good companions, good conversation, everyone is appreciating you, respecting you, showing love to you. The quality of your life goes very high, but still is not comparable to the heaven. So the quality of life is there much more, because your understanding increases, understanding of others around you increase, and also everything which is prepared for you is also showing understanding and appreciation. The food, the tree, the birds, and you are in a beautiful symphony. When birds are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the leaves of the trees, when the wind, everything, if you can hear to them and understand them and be in harmony with them, that's a different experience of life. as our life compared to life of embryo is much more greater. Embryo has life, but our life after birth is much different. And then when we pass the early years, our life again becomes better because we have understanding, we can enjoy many things. So life has different degrees, and in the hereafter, everything has life, but when it goes to heaven, it's much greater.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thank you. And thanks to those who
There's
ask
some
questions.
there's general questions, a couple of them here. In one of your lectures, you have mentioned that animal has no intellect and they just work based on their instinctive nature given by Allah. But in the Quran, it is mentioned that an ant knew the position of Prophet Suleiman and had the ability to warn its people not to be stepped by Prophet's soldiers.
Yeah.
Isn't this a sign that an animal has some level of intellect and willpower? Also, the bird Hudhud, which met Prophet Suleiman and confidentially said to him that it knew something which Prophet didn't know.
Yeah. This is a good question. My understanding that I have shared in some of my lectures, and actually in the discussion about tasbih, I have mentioned this, is that I think we have to preserve the distinctions between living beings and non-living beings in this world, and the fact that everything has life and understanding in the other world. This is my humble opinion. I think when we look at this world from worldly perspective, animals don't understand like human beings. But when we look at malakuti side of the world, everything has life and understanding, including animals, even non-living beings. Everything in that perspective is living. Everything has life. But when we look at from mulki perspective, from worldly perspective, then we have some living, some non-living, and among those which live, we have plants, we have animals, and then we have human beings. This is the way I humbly understand. So sometimes in the Quran and Hadith, we have references, sometimes in mystical experiences, we have references to that malakuti perspective so that we realize. For example, if someone is doing ghibah, backbiting, we say it's like eating the flesh of your dead brother. But is this a mulki perspective? Means this person actually in his stomach has meat or flesh? No. But sometimes that malakuti side is brought to this dunya, like angel, tamassala. This also a kind of tamassul happens here, so that we hear, for example, the sands glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or that lady, the Rasulullah said, remove the flesh from your teeth because she had committed ghibah. These are for awakening us, for saying that there are other things in the world that you must be aware and you must take them seriously. But it doesn't mean that in nature or in this physical world, ghibah is eating the flesh of a dead person or etc.
Shukran, Sheikh.
You're welcome.
So we have quite a few more questions, but I think we are reaching a time where, inshallah, we can start with the greetings.
Inshallah.